What's poppin', YouTube? Welcome back, baby. We are here with more of Epstein shenanigans, which is, very prevalent right now. I know that not a lot of YouTubers are talking about it, but hey, I'll be one of them that does. And I don't cover stuff like this on the channel. I just think it needs to be talked about as much as possible. The more that everyone's more consciously and socially aware, the more something can actually be done, and the more pressure is provided. So hi, I'm here to cause pressure and problems. So hit the like button, subscribe button, leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm quads. Today we're checking out another Charlie video, aka Moist Critical, aka one of the goats of YouTube, who's going to talk about a little bit more about more updates about the Epstein files. So let's get into it. Co-word for today, so no, you did not skip this intro, is redacted. Let's get it.
Got a butt full of poop, but I cannot.
It's a Charlie video. Okay, yep. You know what? That's my bad for not being prepared mentally for what he was about to say. That's on me. That's on me.
Pull myself away from the computer to go take care of that business. I'm refusing nature's call, and it's not insomnia that's keeping me awake right now. We are in the middle of what I believe to be an actual big development here in the Epstein case. ConfiZilla just made a video talking about this, as well as giving instructions on how you yourself can get your hands on this latest dump of documents that wasn't supposed to go out yet, but had been accessible to people savvy enough to get their hands on it, and now it's been disseminated. And these are some documents here that I imagine they were probably going to do a little bit more to hide some names and hide certain
I'm so excited.
elements of, because hooey, boy howdy, I imagine Trump and a lot of the elites are doing this right now. Yeesh. There is some big stuff in here, and I'm not saying that sarcastically this time around. Yes, the vast majority is still like hundreds of pages of completely blacked out, redacted garbage, like it's completely useless, but some of them that they didn't get a chance to go through and just, fucking...
I heard Bill Clinton was outed. Hasn't he been outed? Haven't we already been knowing for him? I thought we've already been knowing for him. No?
Vanished to the Shadow Realm, has eye-opening stuff that directly contradicts a narrative that the government's been running with for a while.
Here's what that looks like. It's volume 8 of the files, but you can see right now that they've only released 7 data sets. And so
Oh, the GOAT ConfiZilla on his alt channel, Voidzilla. Oh, shit. Okay.
The guys at Jmail and the guys at Dropsite, we've been investigating this. I've partnered with them to kind of look at some of these files, and they got access to volume 8 early. You would just type it in the URL. It wasn't like indexable on search, but you could just type in the specific URL and it would just come up. You could download the entire zip file, and that's what we did.
That's crazy. That's crazy that it was that. Oh my God.
Everyone tries to cry foul, questioning the authenticity of...
That is embarrassing. That's their level of security for that. That's embarrassing.
Of these documents here. This is the actual volume 8. They just made it accessible by pure accident because everyone that seems to be working at the highest level is actually like a thumb-sucking fucking brain-dead moron.
They are,
Specifically,
clearly.
I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10 co-conspirators that are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff, because prior to this, remember that all we really had was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the only people who have ever faced any charges at all. Ghislaine Maxwell, the only one who actually faced consequences, right? But in 2019, apparently there were 10 co-conspirators. Now, the people who were sending this to and from have been blacked out, but at the bottom we see that this is the Violent Crime Section, Crimes Against Human Trafficking Unit.
That is huge information, especially when you consider clowns like Kash Patel saying that there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking victims to...
Oh, so it's like, I mean, listen, we're not stupid. We all knew that they knew. We all knew that we've been being lied to, right? Like, and we knew that we knew it was a human trafficking ring. It's not like we're stupid, right? But it's, my brain is like cogs stripping, like gears like grinding against each other right now. So what happened to the other 10 people? Nothing. Literally nothing happened to them. And that is terrifying. Because they're the ones who fucking organized it.
Others or anything like that.
Oh, shit.
Making it seem like it was a solo operation and Ghislaine Maxwell, you know, was second fiddle and that's it. And also Maxwell, worth remembering, isn't exactly facing the harshest of punishment. Not real justice there now that she's at a summer camp prison for a little bit petting service animals. So, I want to also make a side note. Kash Patel needs to be in jail. Like, he literally needs to be arrested. I don't know why perjury isn't something that's taken seriously anymore. There is irrefutable evidence Kash Patel has lied on record about this case.
Thank you! Please!
It's crazy that he just gets to do that with pure immunity. But I won't start shitting and spitting about that too hard right now. The important
But do you know why it doesn't matter? Do you know why it doesn't matter that he lies and he perjures himself? It's because, hey, your president has perjured himself 1,000,001 times in court. Your president has perjured himself 1,000,000 times over and over. Your president doesn't even fucking swear in properly on his day. On his special, beautiful day. He did not even fucking put his hand in and swear in properly. So do you know what? I don't think anyone gives a fuck about perjury anymore. I think they can just say whatever lie they want to say now.
This piece that CoffeeZilla is highlighting is that we now have information that confirms that authorities were looking into other co-conspirators in this operation.
Sorry, you're president too, buddy. Yeah, I'm coming to America soon, folks. Yep.
That clearly they must have dropped the leads at some point. They stopped sniffing around, said not worth pursuing. But at one point, they did have other co-conspirators and apparently quite a bit of information on them, as the documents seem to hint at and reveal and talk around. So what the fuck happened, and why are they now pretending that there aren't co-conspirators when we now have hard proof that there was and that they were pursuing for however brief a time?
And additionally, some of the details on this are revealed later because we see this subject line. It says co-conspirators at the top. And it says, blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York City. Blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, and blank. By the way, I love how these potential co-conspirators are people who are being blacked out. Like, why? I thought the whole point of this was you couldn't redact people for personal information reasons or for public embarrassment. You could only redact on the basis of it being a victim. And I'm not sure how these people could possibly be victims here.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Epstein Files Transparency Act prohibits redactions, quote, on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Has anything been redacted on that basis?
Absolutely, positively not.
Liar, liar.
Oh my god. The way lies flow so easily from poisonous tongues, so smoothly with such ease, like hot knives on butter.
Plants for hire. His nose about to grow fucking 5 feet with that big old fib. This is inarguable that they are redacting names of people that aren't victims here. As CoffeeZilla points out, these are co-conspirators. The evidence is overwhelming. There's no wiggle room here. No way to weasel out some kind of explanation for why these would be justifiably censored and blacked out and redacted. These are clearly not victims. This is about the co-conspirators. So there should be no exceptions made. Their names should be revealed here in these documents, but they're not. It's been redacted. Why? Who are they covering up for? And why? This is illegal. You cannot do that. And this is inarguably them redacting names of people that are not victims. It's craziness, and it's so blatant, it's right in your face. Like, the proof is in the pudding, and yet I know people are going to deny it still.
And that's the thing, right? Is like, that's the reason why is like, I am talking a little bit less than I normally do during these kinds of videos. I usually pause and talk a lot more, but I think it's really important for us to be more aware in the consciousness of what's happening, right? If like predators and pedophiles at the very top can be protected and traffic children, and we can act like it's just a news cycle and move on, that's a fucking problem. And that is so disgusting. And the thing that makes me really satisfied and proud of when it comes to this community was I posted the last Epstein video that I did. A lot of you weren't like in the comments being like, oh, Alicia, let's talk about less heavy topics. Oh, Alicia, let's do something else, right? A lot of you were like, no, this is good. We should be talking about this. And yeah, I do a lot of videos that were lighter and humorous and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm really thankful to have a community that would rather have this discussion as a hard discussion and share in the outrage, because this matters. This matters a lot. And seeing that makes me just really proud of you guys, and it makes me feel a lot better. Because I know there's a lot of other YouTubers who don't talk about this stuff purely because they know their communities would shit on them. Their communities would be mad because I just want to come for escapism and positive vibes, you know? And it's like, it makes me really refreshed that I can just be real with my community and talk about shit that's actually real and y'all not be assholes about it. And I just want to say thank you for that. All right? It means a lot to me to be able to just talk about shit that matters and not have to worry about people being fucking weird about it. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for caring about this, because it matters. It matters. And even if you're not American, right? Think about that. Just I really want you, even as non-Americans, to think about that we have an entire massive country and global power that is filled with those who are hurting, hunting children and selling them off and trading them into the sex trade, right? This is not an issue that is only like an American issue. This happens across the world. But for it to be hidden by the government at this level in a Western nation is something that's unheard of to this extent, right? And for it to be finally surfacing is a big deal. And the more it surfaces for something like this, the more it's able to help out in other workplaces in the world too. Because again, think about it. Do you think Epstein only trafficked kids in North America? Or do you think for other political powers internationally that he had and interacted with, that he also did it with them? It might also be implicating your countries too. We just don't know yet. And it would be stupid for us to not think otherwise. Right? Because we want to see the proof. And we have already, Prince Andrew, for example, the man who doesn't sweat, of course. A true icon. You know, he just doesn't sweat anymore, man. It's not who he is, right? So it's like, like, there's just a lot of liars and bullshitters internationally as well, right? It's like, though you might think it's just an American issue, it's really not. There's so much. And, you know, there's some shady political parties that I don't want to get into a tuffle about. But looking at you, allegedly India, whose political power's been there for too long and is super fucked up and creating a monopoly, right? So I'm just saying, if anyone's that dude already fucking allegedly, you know, runs a whole drug ring. So allegedly, you know, so if anyone's gonna be in that shit, I'm just, you know, so that's why it's like, you know, there's, you know, I just, you know, keep an eye out. And the way that media's policed so heavily there is crazy too, because it's all fucking bought out by the political party that's currently in lead. Anyways, it's just a whole thing. I could go on forever about shit like this, but just know is that I'm just really proud of you guys for being vocal, for talking, and for not being cringe and telling me to shut the fuck up about this, because you guys are great and you have brains and I like that. And if something is overwhelming for you, you just click off the video and watch something else. And I appreciate that, you know, because rather than try to like derail the topic, you're like, hey, you know what? I can't handle it. I'm a dip, but I respect it. And you know what? I appreciate that too.
Unhinged. There is no world where you can spin a narrative here where these redactions and these places make sense, because there's no way that what they're talking about right there can possibly be minors or victims. These are co-conspirators that are being protected. That's fucking insanity.
But anyways, you can see that it says attempts were made to blank and Brunel, that's Jean-Luc Brunel, the famous who's now dead. Blank is confirmed to live in New York, was away for the holiday weekend. We did not have a good address, but an attempt was made in New York. Attempts are made to Maxwell today. Blank, you get it. Like, it's already all the
Show the other fucking name. The other fucker's alive then. Because if we have the one dead one's name showing up, that means the other motherfucker is definitely alive in there, and you're not showing his name! Or hers, depending.
People they suspected this whole time are redacted, of course. And they say, I do not know about Ohio contacting Wexner. Now, that's a reference to Les Wexner, the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. This is huge. We've long suspected that he was, of course, one of the co-conspirators. And obviously, the fact the FBI suspected it isn't a 100% proof confirmation. But clearly, they were serving grand jury subpoenas. I mean, that must be who they're talking about, one wealthy businessman in Ohio, because later it's confirmed by this whole idea of Ohio contacting Wexner.
Even though most of the names are redacted, it's not all of them. So Wexner's name appears here, as well as Brunel, but as CoffeeZilla mentioned, he's dead. He's already burning in hell right now. But Wexner, this was someone that they grand jury subpoenaed, seemingly, and I don't think I've heard a peep about any kind of consequences or justice being served over there, or any kind of like pursuit on analyzing his connections here to all of this, even though he is here in one of the emails here about being a co-conspirator. What happened there? The well ran dry or something? Like, it turns out he was completely innocent? That seems kind of hard to believe. That'd be a surprising, shocking twist, more so than a fucking Darman video. I don't know about that. That seems a little fishy. And again, why are other names here blacked out? Why are co-conspirators being protected? Why aren't their identities being revealed? Food for thought.
And you can see at the bottom, this is from the FBI New York. When you get a chance, give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators. This is really bad.
It's so blatant, dude. It's so blatant. This is so, like, I'm so mad. This should just boil you, man.
No,
what the fuck?
We knew, as early as 2019, the right people to target, and yet our FBI, who's had evidence of this the entire time, or leads on it, has declined to prosecute, right? Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about it. That's what they wanted us to believe in July. Fast forward to December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago. You know, it's insane.
It is insane because their position has been like, oh, there was nothing actionable in there, so, you know, stop asking us. Just pipe down. We're busy covering shit up. Stop asking questions has basically been the philosophy. Our hands are tied. There was nothing. It's all a hoax. Actually, no, the files are on Pam Bondi's desk. No, the files don't exist. It's all a hoax.
Yeah, but that's exactly what happened, though. And they were like, it's all, and then they had like all of them holding up the files. I have the files in my hand. They're on my desk. They don't exist. What? Who told you they exist? What? No, the Democrats made the files. No. And it's like, dude, the Democrats are in the files too, bitch. You all are. Republican and Democrats, y'all are in that shit. And no matter which party you're with, there's a lot of shitty people across the board. What do you mean?
A ton of fucking files. Nothing's actionable though, and according to Kash Patel, it was just Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody else. Why? It doesn't go deeper than that. That's it. Case closed. It's a fucking mess. It's a complete circus. And now that we have this kind of information out there, it's even more sickening to know that they are just blatantly protecting these pedophiles, these evil, evil people that engaged in unthinkably heinous actions. They are still getting away with it. And they know, and have known since 2019 apparently, that there are others out there still at large and are just not doing anything about it, and would instead rather lie saying, oh, there's nothing actionable or anything. Yeah, there was really nothing in there at all. In fact, it was all make-believe. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was never real in the first place. Jeffrey Epstein was the friends made along the way.
I was gonna say he's the boogeyman, but never mind. God damn it, Charlie. God damn it.
What are you guys talking about? It's so absurd. It is downright diabolical. The corruption is so blatant, it is right in your face. And even when we are getting drip-fed the tiniest tiddlywinks of information about this case that have been heavily redacted, mind you, we are still seeing just how depraved this is. There is so much evidence that they can't even sweep it all under the rug. We are still finding just how bad this is. Now just imagine what they're keeping from you and covering up and what they've already probably burned and fucking snapped out of existence. And imagine if they actually did follow the rules here and only redact victim information. Just imagine how many people we could point to as blatantly corrupt and needing to be thrown in jail. For the last 6 years, having this kind of information and not acting on it, and to this day, having so many people in the highest levels of government denying it.
So someone mentioned, I can't hear the word diabolical without hearing Pegasus anymore. So Pegasus showed up on my feed, and I know like people have been saying you're cooked more recently. So I was watching one of the videos because I was like, okay, yeah, people have been bringing it up a lot. You're cooked. I was like, this dude goofy. All right, well, I didn't watch the full video, but you know, yep.
Its existence and trying to pretend that it's all fucking phony baloney, make-believe, dirty barnacles, horseradish, it's a hoax, it's not real, that kind of thing. Can you imagine if this information did actually properly release with only victims' information redacted?
Even over here, we see that in one of the lawsuits, I believe this is with Maxwell, the government actually wanted to refer to people at trial as co-conspirators of the defendant, aka Maxwell, for the purposes of a rule. And then they say Jeffrey Epstein, and then there are two names listed there who are going to be listed as co-conspirators. Again, who are those people? We were told that the only
we were told that it was. This is so stupid. So we had people who are at like near the fucking top, who just never have been persecuted. Jesus Christ.
Now is Maxwell, and if you don't believe that, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. But back in 2020, this was a idea not just promulgated by wackos, it was promulgated by who? The FBI themselves, the Department of Justice. Look at this. Co-conspirator question transcript. This is from USA NYS. They say, question, when Jeffrey Epstein died, a lot of people asked, who's next? Is the government going to hold people who are accused of helping him recruit these girls?
Okay, chat. I see everyone being a little bit attitudey and bitchy. Redirected towards the pedophiles. Thank you. All right, let's not get sidetracked by us talking about YouTubers. Let's bring it back to the topic at hand, huh? Redirect. Redirect. Focus up. Focus up. This is a little more important right now. Focus up. we can bitch about other YouTubers when we feel like spilling tea another time.
Girls, are they going to hold them accountable? And then the answer is, well, I'll note that the original charge.
What happened? I know. I just kind of glanced over and saw other YouTubers' names. I didn't really read exactly what was happening. I'm just making sure we redirect to stay on topic. That's all. That's all.
Jeffrey Epstein contained a conspiracy charge, and we allege that there were conspirators involved. Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have done what he did without the assistance of others. And
I was bringing you happy news. Oh, my bad. Either way, let's focus up.
I guess not.
Yeah, that investigation hit a brick wall. That investigation went off the tracks and fell into a fucking nitroglycerin facility and just blew up because that shit has not been pursued clearly. Mm-hmm. As CoffeeZilla mentions, this idea of there being more than just Epstein and Maxwell.
This is the video. This is on Voidzilla. This video that Charlie's going over to.
Well,
yep.
The highest level of authority has been saying, you're crazy if you believe that. You are falling for, you know, nonsense fairy tale garbage. But even the FBI years ago was saying the same things internally here. And even agreeing that it couldn't have been done alone. They were even moving to call other people associated with this co-conspirators. Information redacted on those names there. But they knew certain individuals to target for this that they were going to be looking into with the investigation and assuring them that the investigation is moving forward on these co-conspirators, and then it doesn't. Why did it magically stop? What happened? What changed? And why, if all of this information is still at the government?
Money, power, and blackmail. The trifecta of all tomfuckery is what happened, okay? All these, because listen, a lot of these people are fucking mega billionaires, right? And they have blackmail on other people who are probably trying to persecute them. They either pay off people or they have blackmailed the people trying to go after them. Either way, right? It's like, oh, if you want to burn me, I'll burn you too. And that's the reason why we don't get anyone, because everyone's fucking corrupt.
Its fingertips, do they continue to lie and pretend as though it doesn't exist and that there's nothing here at all that the public didn't already know? They've already given out justice by sending.
We'll check out the honey scam video later this stream.
You know, that's all they can do. That's the only power they can muster here.
And what's even more concerning is our president also seems concerned with the wrong people.
The victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, you know, but I think it's terrible. Look.
What? That's not what the person who asked you the question said. That's not what the... What is that answer? You're so fucking stupid, but so smart at being stupid. Right? Like, he's so smart at being dumb. That's not what they asked you. He just fucking he chooses to answer a question that wasn't even asked.
I don't like I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton.
Ah! That's insane. No one fucking said anything about pictures. They're like, oh, people are upset about all the redactions. And he goes, yeah, all the pictures of other people. Anyways, Bill Clinton, right? And it's like, what? What?
I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me, too. Everybody was friendly with this guy. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago.
What an interesting perspective.
Oh, so if Bill does it, it's not innocent. But if I do it, it's innocent, is what he's saying. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because he innocently was besties. Got it.
That is a fascinating thing for him to harp on so much about, like, well, we got to think about all the innocent people that met with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, that's what we should be focusing on, and how damaging and how traumatizing this must be for them, those innocent people that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, you know, all the lawyers and bankers and all of them. Heart breaks for them. Bill Clinton, I can't believe he got wrapped up in this. Love that guy. This is a crazy set of circumstances. He's a big boy, though. Side note, Bill Clinton apparently just put out a statement this afternoon saying release the entirety of the files. So Bill Clinton's like, just do it, pussy. That was a...
Which, coded! Which, by the way, he's like, yeah, no, I'm a pedophile. Anyways, show everybody else then. He goes, all right, fuck it. Oh, I'm in this bitch, you're in this bitch too, get in here. If you're gonna expose me, expose them all. Which honestly, yeah, man. You know what? Let the bitches fight. Let them fight. Hold on. We're not gonna say Bill Clinton W. Because remember, he is somebody who's a fucking predator in this. Right? So I wouldn't really say it's a W. But it is a good move. That's all. It's like, yeah, it's like a shit person did something kind of based. That's what it is. It's like, oh. You know what I mean? Yeah. W mutual destruction. W chatter. That's what that was. Yes. Mutual destruction. That's what the real W is too. Yeah. There we go. I was trying to figure out how to like say it, but you know, you got it. You got it with that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy plot twist I certainly didn't expect, because I can't imagine a world where Bill Clinton isn't also wrapped up in this shit. I think that guy is beyond guilty. I bet he had a whole fucking lodge named after him on Epstein's Island. Like, I find it hard to believe that somehow he'd walk out of this squeaky clean. Sounds like mutually assured destruction here, and Bill Clinton's just throwing his meat on the table, challenging him to do so, and I guess we'll see how it all shakes out from there. The thing is that CoffeeZilla is pointing out, Trump's focus is more about, like, there's innocent people here. We have to keep in mind, think of the innocent multi-millionaire and billionaires that didn't know Jeffrey Epstein for all the bad stuff. They just knew him for cracking jokes and stuff, and you know, just being a guy, just being one of the dudes. Like, why is that what you're focusing on? Why wouldn't you instead be focusing on trying to catch all of the people that have just completely been swept under the rug? Why would that not be the focus? Why instead
one of
would you
the
be pretending
dudes.
none of this is real, it's all a hoax? That's very peculiar. I think that's pretty concerning. And when you do have an opportunity to release the files, why are they so heavily redacted with hundreds and hundreds of pages completely blacked out? That looks very guilty. That looks like a really big admission of guilt.
Now, I'll be honest, he gets off track from here, but the point he was making is that those poor, innocent, you know...
And from here, he gets off track. Trump? Just babbling about fucking nothing into the void? What? My president would never.
Bankers who are meeting with Epstein, the poor lawyers who are meeting with Epstein, like all of Epstein's friends are just caught up in this unfortunate thing. And it's just such a reversal of what previously the DOJ
He's off track
and
from the
FBI
start.
believed. In fact,
Wait a second. Weren't you supposed to go to sleep angry? I'm pretty sure you came into the chat early on and said, I'm going to bed. Girl, go take your nap, bitch. Anyway.
So much that they got a federal search warrant for the SDNY, and they got it, and part of the seizable data, part of the stuff that they commanded them to seize as part of the search warrant, and part of it says evidence concerning the identity.
Is that an S? Chat? Including blank. Is that an S at the start of this name?
Or location of co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein, including blank and Ghislaine Maxwell. So again, who is blank? Well, they keep redacting the names of these co-conspirators uncharged, remember, and now they're saying we have no evidence to charge anybody.
Oh,
Clearly, they had evidence for a search warrant, and it's just completely ridiculous that some of this stuff is redacted and that we're viewing the rich and powerful people who are mentioned as the victims here.
Once again, just further evidence that they are indeed scrubbing the name of co-conspirators. These are not victims or minors that they are taking the names out of here. Thus, they are breaking the rules of how this is supposed to go. It is blatant, this cover-up. There is no world where that is somehow a victim there, yet their name has been redacted. Why? Why are they hiding the co-conspirators' identities? It's fucking outrageous. And people should be very mad about this. But I have no doubt, again, it's 5 a.m. right now, so I haven't seen like the full response to all of this now being out there, but I know there's going to be people that are butt-chugging the Kool-Aid to such an unbelievable degree that the delusion has fully taken hold that they're going to go through these mental gymnastics to explain why, actually, there's nothing fishy going on here. This is totally normal. They did everything by the book, and you're making...
I think there's a serious brainwashing problem going on. Where it's like, if you are a loved one, can't see the fucking problem here, like, they need help. That is crazy. Like, there's a certain level of delusion that you're not even based in reality anymore. Right? Because like, the fact that we have people in such high power, and it doesn't matter what fucking political party they're with. It's literally every one of these assholes in power. Like, get your senile ass besties to, like, stop being fucking weird. Stop defending them. They ain't your friend, bestie. They're not giving you the tax cuts you want, bestie. You still broke, bestie. They're making money off your corpse, bestie. So why are you sucking their dicks? You don't even benefit from them being pedophiles. So you don't even get a say. What do you mean? Why are you defending them? The difference with the other political powers is that they either get money compensation or they have blackmail on themselves, so they always give in because everyone's fucking corrupt. But you're giving that shit for free because you're stupid.
Making a mountain out of a molehill. Clearly the most transparent administration in American history at work here, obviously. Which just, again, you have so much evidence to prove that this is not by the book here. This is indeed a co-conspirator's name and many other examples of co-conspirators' names being redacted. Not victims, not minors. Unless they're trying to say that these names here are victims, these people that are potentially co-conspirators of Epstein, they're also victims. And in that case, you need to be institutionalized ASAP if that's what you think. That is a fucking crazy take. But I guess it's not the most outrageous thing to picture someone believing when you have someone like Trump who continues to just drive that point home, where it seems like he's not even really focused on the actual victims of Epstein.
He doesn't give a fuck because he's made those victims.
He's instead more focused on like, oh, the innocent guys, we used to, just go watch the ball game together with Jeffrey Epstein. They had no idea, and my heart breaks for them. Oh, Bill Clinton playing a song on my world's smallest violin. Like, he's just constantly bringing up, like, oh, so many innocent people. They're getting wrapped up in all this Epstein hoopla. I can't believe we're still talking about it. You're a bad person if you're talking about it, which is something he did say.
He did say that, by the way. Yeah, he did. He did. So
I highly recommend you go check out the rest of CoffeeZilla's video. He also gives you the tutorial on how you can get your hands on these files as well to check them all for yourself. Now, after combing through them, there were some other big eyebrow-raising moments. One of them, CoffeeZilla also tweeted out. This is from a U.S. attorney who wrote in 2020, Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. And then it concludes with, on 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers respectively were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. We've just finished reviewing the full records, more than 100 pages of very small script, and didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. I noticed...
And yet, people defend him. And yet, their God King Trump would never.
Trump's name in quite a few documents in this most recent volume. This has been one that is obviously pretty interesting because it's talking about his frequent flyer miles that he was accumulating with old Epstein Airlines, about how he had flown on the airlines far more than they had thought at the time. Now, whether that's before or after all the flight logs, which does show Trump flying on the planes quite a bit, I don't know. Maybe there's more that weren't on the flight logs. I'm not sure. Again, all of this is still brand new. And I guess as more gets combed through, we'll get more and more information. But like I said, I have been glued to this for hours now. And I really just wanted to yap about it because there is some crazy shit in here.
Yeah.
This is finally,
God,
for the first time in a long time, big new information in regards to this case and people involved in it, and exposing a blatant cover-up of very important information from these files. Now, it's very late in the evening, and all of this is still very fresh. I have no doubt there will be a lot more that comes from this.
And if there is another Charlie video, best believe we're back on our shit again, because I will be continuing to cover this as it goes. I have no intention to stop. I have no intention to stop talking about it. Whether you choose to watch these videos or not, it's up to you. But if you're this far into the video already, you're staying around, right? Like, it's just... again, if you have someone you know is fucking brainwashed by this shit and defends it, like... this is where you start pulling out the examples. What if it was someone you cared about? What if it was like someone like you love who was trafficked and treated this way, right? And it's like some people feel so emotionally removed because they see Trump as like, or they're over-invested, right? Some people who voted for Trump and see what's happening are like, well, I'm in too deep, right? Give them the olive branch. Be like, hey, man, you voted wrong. But now, realize this guy's fucked up, ain't he? And I won't shit on you for that. Just come back to reality. The dude you voted for is a pedophile. Come back to reality, right? And that's the thing, is a lot of people who voted for Trump feel so much shame over the fact that he is who he is, and they don't realize that they can just say, oh, you know what? I fucked up. Let me back out of that. Yes, you don't need to always double down in life. Like, holy shit. This video covers that? Oh, does it?
So I'm just going to try and keep my finger on the pulse of it. I already have no doubt there will be a large number of people that'll plug their ears to it and downplay the significance. I already saw a crazy tweet from some psychopath named Mila.
But yeah, they should be ashamed. Well, that's the thing though, right? Is that, like, again, people who are supporting him blindly, like, they are shitty. But again, it's like, keep in mind, if you want to convert somebody who you actually care about, and I'm not talking some random Twitter motherfucker. You're never going to convince a random Twitter motherfucker. But if you have someone in your life who supports Trump, they're worth the effort to put in, right? Where you're like, hey, I'm not going to shit on you for changing your view, but you do realize, right? Like, I'm not here to attack you as someone I care about. Right? For a Twitter motherfucker, fuck them. Who cares? We don't know them. It's online, baby. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's a difference between someone you actually know and care about, right? Who you can talk to and offer that hand where it's like, hey, get out of this cult ass mindset. Be better, you know? Also, hi, Yaya. We're just talking about the Epstein file update. Welcome in. Thanks for the raid.
I have no idea who this troglodyte is, but they are now already singing a different tune about why does anyone care about the Epstein files, which is something that was previously tried. Now, in the wake of all of this, it's being dusted off to try again. I truly hope there won't come a time where people start to say that this isn't a big deal, that this isn't something people should care about. This is a massive deal, and everyone should care about this because it implicates the people that control your life. The people in the highest level of power in this country that are actively making decisions on your life and how everything unfolds in this country. And if the people that are in these positions are these evil pedophiles that have been getting away with these crimes, then there's a huge problem there. They need to be held accountable and face justice. You shouldn't want to be ruled and controlled by people that were Epstein clients. Like, I don't know how insane people have become recently, where now they are with a straight face trying to say that...
Again, I'm going to say this clearly because I just noticed something in chat. I'm not going to shit on somebody who is changing their mind actively from supporting Trump. I will shit on them for continuing to do so. But I think a lot of people got fucking brainwashed by him saying shit and not realizing his execution is dog shit because he's an idiot. Like, he says a lot of words, but his execution and planning is dog shit. So no matter what he does, even if he has a stance that you would agree with, doesn't matter. Right? So even the people who wanted him to be harsh on immigration, he still did it in the most incorrect way possible. Right? Getting illegals out of the country, he didn't do it in the proper way. He tried to make sure they hit quotas, which caused them to take people who are actually legal citizens in roundups based off of racial profiling. They saw brown people and scooped them up. Right? That's because he's inefficient and an idiot. Instead of giving them quotas to hit, he should have had a harsher scenario in which how to deal with illegal immigration. Right? So it's understand, I'm by myself. Again, this is not me trying to target you as an individual, but understand his policy and planning for how he executed the plan to deal with illegal immigration is a problem. I'm somebody who's legally immigrating to the US, right? I'm going through the full legal process. I agree with legal immigration, right? So don't twist like it to be like, as a brown person, you have to support. I'm not trying to say that, right? What I'm trying to say, though, is that understand is the way that they're dealing with it is not okay. Is it something that needs to be dealt with? Yeah, to a degree, right? But the way you carry it out fucking matters. And the way it's being carried out is disgusting. And that's why. So saying I'm going to be harsh on illegal immigration versus how they execute it is a fucking problem. And I think that's something that like needs to be acknowledged, right? And that, again, having the stance of being harsh on illegal immigration, I won't be against that. But I'm not going to say the way they're handling it is acceptable. Does that make sense? Right? Because if you voted for him because you wanted him to be harsh on immigration, but you didn't understand the execution of it, then yeah, like you just voted without realizing the way in which he intended to, which we didn't realize how extreme it was going to be regardless, right? So again, and I don't want it to be where if you're someone who's black or brown or like Asian or anything, that you think that, oh, people think I have to vote this way because I'm this. It's like, no, you vote for whatever you feel is based in your ideology, right? Always. But understand that execution of the policies you want implemented matters a fuck ton. And when you realize that you're going for somebody who deals in extremisms, you're not going to have it implemented in the way that actually creates a safety net, right? It doesn't have due process. Because think about it. If you really care about your rights in due process, he's fucking that. He's fucking that. And that's where it really is like rooted in. So, anyways, at the end of the day, I'm not here to shit on Trump voters. I'm here to say, look at what he's doing now and how he's talking. Really get some clarity. Remember what he said during his campaign, that he promised to release all of the Epstein files. He said that while campaigning. And look what he's doing now, right? So really, really try to like open your eyes and see, right? But again, I'm not trying to be here to shit on you for your decisions you made previously. There's nothing you can do about the past, about who you voted for. It's done. It's done. What you can do is talk about who you currently support, right? And I don't care which political party you're with, but we should all be united against fucking pedophiles. And we know what he is. Does that make sense? Right? And that's what it comes down to. I know I'm really disappointed. I thought he'd do better. Yeah, and that's okay, right? Like you see now is that you're someone who's admitting like, hey, you know what? I thought he'd do better. He didn't. I'm really disappointed. And that's something that in this community, we should be supportive of. Because what if we always just shit on everybody who voted for Trump, then no one here can actually grow as a person and be like, you know what? I'm opening my eyes and seeing this guy is a fucking pedophile and crazy, right? We should be saying, hey, dude, I'm glad you're a part of this. What's up? Thanks for waking up. Welcome in, right? Like, again, sure, it's extremely frustrating that, you know, people voted for him. But at the same time, is like if you don't welcome people into logic and reasoning, they're just going to double down and become more like rabid. And that's the problem, is that they're so fucking defensive of him. A lot of people are so defensive of him. They aren't willing to change their mind about him. And that's terrifying.
Epstein isn't something you should care about.
And like, okay, again, there's like someone in my chat who's talking about like trans rights, right? And you guys know I'm very supportive of trans rights. You know, girl, I might have pussy power, but I still support you, right? Whatever genitalia you have or whatever you want to be with your gender, I support it. Go off, right? But I just want to say is me saying that I open my arms to people who change their political ideology does not suddenly mean I don't support you as a trans person. I will always be in your corner, right? But understand is that I want more people to open their eyes to logic and reasoning when people on no matter what political spectrum are in power and abusing children. And if we can't have that dialogue, that's a problem, right? So like my humanitarian views about you having body autonomy and you having your gender identity is independent for me saying, hey, political fuckheads in power are pedophiles, right? And me seeing somebody actively being like, hey, I voted for Trump, but I'm disappointed. And I don't like who he is now that I see him in this light. Right? And it's like, hopefully these people also start to open their eyes about other topics, such as humanitarian rights. And that'd be cool too. But do you know what? Leave the door open for them. Right? Leave the door open for them. That's how we build a better tomorrow. And sometimes I'm going to be in a bad mood where I say fuck them regardless. But today I'm in a good mood. So I will say open arms. It depends on the day, really, because I got a bitchy ass attitude.
Get over it. That blows my mind. Mila Joy, I suppose, gets her joy from the suffering of children and does so with a big smile on her face. She doesn't care that children were being trafficked and raped by potentially the most powerful people in this country. She doesn't care. She doesn't want them unmasked or thrown in jail. She couldn't care less about that. That's pretty fucking unhinged, Mila. All I can do is cross my fingers and hope and pray that there's not a ton of people with a poisoned, smooth brain like she has. I am hoping there's sensible people out there that are seeing all of this unfold in real time and finally having that come to Jesus moment, that eureka moment of, wow, there's something very, very bad afoot here. But anyway, I'll stop yapping about it for now. I guess we'll...
All right, I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. Someone in chat said, he doesn't mention it, but apparently there's people who were so fucking stupid they redacted some of the files in Adobe with black highlighter. Oh, they could just reselect it, right? So you can just copy and paste the text and see what they're redacted. Yeah, because you just re-highlight it. That's crazy. That's crazy. You want an example? Paul, you have an example? Yeah, send it in mod chat. Send it in mod chat. Hook me up. Hook me up. Bitch! You got... What? Wait, was this the full fucking redacted shit in black highlight? 18 pages? Shut the fuck up! Dude, they even have his goddamn properties! Like, even the brownstone in fucking New York! Here's, oh my god, the New Mexico, the Florida one, which I know a lot about the Florida one in Compound in particular, because that's where they started to harvest a lot of the children from. Oh my god. Paris, and then Little St. James. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, we got actual file shit that was just, oh my god, yep. Hold on, I'm just reading. Yeah, this is about his corporations. Yep. Virgin Islands from Nevada Law. Oh, his property allocation. Sorry, let me just read through. We've got company names. We've got company names who've dealt with Epstein and the trafficking of children. Nice. Holy shit, there's a lot about the corporations he dealt with. Fucking hell. Okay, yep. So we have aliases for some people as well. Factual allegations. A conduct of the Epstein enterprise in the Virgin Islands. Ready for this? Epstein and his associates, including defendants, identified and recruited female victims, including children, and transported them to the Virgin Islands, where they were abused and injured. Epstein, and in association with defendants, trafficked, R-worded, sexually assaulted, and held captive underage girls and young women in the properties in the Virgin Islands. Epstein created a network of companies and individuals who participated and conspired with him in the pattern of criminal activity related to sex trafficking, forced labor, sexual assault, child abuse, and sexual servitude of these young women and children. Epstein and his associates trafficked underage girls to the Virgin Islands, held them captive, and sexually abused them, causing them to grave physical and mental and emotional injury. To accomplish this, by the way, again, the title of this is called Factual Allegations, by the way. Again, one more time. That is the title of this section. To accomplish his illegal ends, Epstein formed an association, in fact, with multiple defendants and others, both companies and individuals. See, that's the thing that was crazy when I was reading above about which companies directly aided him. Is that, like, go down to page 18. I will in 1 second. The one thing that's really interesting, though, is, like, the fact that, like, we are more now talking about companies and companies' names not being redacted, which I'm more interested about. Because if we find out which companies were directly linked, then that will probably figure out the 10 people. I'm just saying, the 10 people who colluded are probably just people who are probably fucking owning these companies or higher up in those companies. Just follow the money. And Linky Poo. Anyway. 18. So, let's get to the little fancy redactions. Oh! Names! Dyke and Khan were, in short, the indispensable captains of Epstein's criminal enterprise. These roles for which they were richly rewarded. Defendants Khan and Dyke controlled the directed in the activities of the entities and personal bank accounts of Epstein accounts after they were funded. Okay. Of them were officers or directors of Butterfly Trust of company holdings Epstein's real property. Okay, I knew that Epstein already owned a few of those, but yeah, let me keep going 1 second. Now copy and paste the redacted part. Financial Strategy Group is what this one says. Financial Trust. Hyperion Air is what this one says. Okay. Well, let me go to the next redacted part. All right. What does this one say? They're protecting companies, chat. They're redacting names of companies even. That's fucked. But I'm excited. Hold on. As of October 23, 2007, Indyke was listed as president of the foundation. He was a signatory on the foundation's checking accounts. Between September 2015 and June 2019, Indyke signed foundation account checks for over $400,000 made payable to young female models and actresses. Young female models and actresses, including a former Russian model who received over $380,000 through monthly payments of $8,333. That's what's redacted here. Next one. In November 2017, Indyke signed a foundation check made payable to the immigration lawyer in New York and was involved in one of the more forced marriages arranged among Epstein's victims to secure victim immigration. Let me make sure I got that. Fucking hell! Oh my god! They were trafficking and forcing them to marry so they could stay in the country. Oh, fucking... Oh, god. Okay, yep. Yep. All right. Let's grab this part. JSC Interiors LLC is a New York limited liability company, the articles of organization of which were filed in November 2014. Wow. Oh no. They fucking redacted a company. Why are they redacting companies? Anyway. Who was forced in... Oh my... Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry. Ooh, the next line was crazy. Hold on. Organization of which were filed in November 2014. The articles listed JSC, who was forced and coerced to have sex with Epstein, as the company's sole owner. JSC was manipulated, exploited, and controlled by Epstein Enterprise. According to JSC's operating agreement, Khan was to be the initial manager of the company, with full and complete authority, power, and discretion to do all things necessary or convenient to manage, control, and carry out the business. Khan also has signatory authority for JSC's bank accounts. Oh, so they just fucking vultured their shit. Got it. I'm gonna assume the small one's JSC, but let me just highlight it regardless. Yep. One of JSC's bank accounts was funded entirely from the money transferred from Epstein's personal bank accounts. JSC's payroll was paid to two persons, one of whom was listed as sole owner. Khan gave conflicting reports to JSC's bank about the person on the company payroll and the reason for its payments to her. Once he described her as the interior designer, which justified the payments of a... Jesus Christ. Okay. Got it. So we're siphoning money through a company and saying they have fake jobs in order to... Yep. Okay. But why redact the company name? Why are they redacting company names? That's... Our company's victims? Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, continuing. Oh, you know why. I know. I'm asking more in a rhetorical sense. We all know why. Let me continue reading where I was. Conflicting reports, company's payroll, and the reasons for its payments to her. Once he described her as an interior designer, which would justify the payments in light of JSC's purported line of business, which appears to have been false. The other time, Khan described the payroll receipt as dentist, which would not justify JSC's interior's payment to her, but which appears to be true. Signed checks for $300,000 made personally out to young women again. Yep. Butterfly Trust. Yep. Created for the benefit of numerous persons who performed work for Epstein. A lot of this is just about the checks and moving money of hands from Khan, and how he was basically the one who dealt with all of the dirty work of paying out people. Indike was wire transferred from another one of Epstein's personal accounts with a different bank, totaling almost $50,000 between November 2016 and July 2019, just before Epstein's arrest, to women with Eastern European surnames, including one known to have recruited young women and girls for Epstein. Okay! Yep! So all this money was all the recruiting money for them snagging up people. Yes, sir! 1,000 pages? Yeah. Fuck. I won't go through the full thing because we're only 23 out of 76 pages. But I will go through this last one here on my screen. From another one of Epstein's personal accounts with another different bank, for which Indike signatory authority, someone acting on Epstein's behalf made a total of 21 separate withdrawals, each to the amount of $1,000 on every but one business day in the April 9th, from April 9th to from April 9th to May 8th of 2019. Payments from this account totaling were almost $60,000 were transferred by wire to young women, mostly of foreign beneficiary banks, in February and March of 2016. Yep. All right. Well, you know what? Protecting big corpos is, is very important. God damn, so fucking stupid. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I hope you had a nice time hanging out with us, getting mad, getting shitty, and talking about life a little bit. Talking a little bit about the stuff and going-ons in the world. All right, I appreciate you. Here's a little forehead kiss. Mwah. All right, drink some water, take care of yourself, wash your ass. I'll see you guys next time. And if there's another update, I got you guys. All right, got another video coming up? I got you guys, because I'll just keep talking about it non-stop all the time whenever something comes up. So even if stuff comes up in a year from now, I'll still talk about it. That's just who I am. Catch you guys later. Bye.